Unplug family friends. This is Coach Madlin, your digital well-being coach or screen life balance coach, as I'm calling myself these days. And today I want to talk to you about what is it that we need to do, moms and dads, I guess mom especially, to deal with our emotional junk and how that affects our teens. I've always thought and prayed, God, why is it that I have to work out my emotional junk, my stuff in front of my kids? Why couldn't I have just had things, my act together, before I had my kids? And it just doesn't work that way. So today I have a gift for you. I have Kim Muench, a certified parent coach who is all about parent connection. And she's going to educate us on what does it mean to, how does our emotional stuff affects our kids and what can we do about it? So I'll bring her up. She is a dear, dear friend, and she has taught me so much. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Madlin. How are you?
Welcome to Unplug Family.
Thank you so much for having me on my favorite topic.
I know. You have such a heart for parents and especially parents of teens and how to help us navigate this literally emotional turbulent time. So tell us about our own emotional junk and what is the technical term for that? Because there is one, and what do we do about it?
Okay, so we are tied so closely with our children physically under the same roof, and I think a lot of times parents forget that their stress from whether it's career or marital stuff gets combined with their kids, energy and their things going on too. Our kids really take in the energy in the house, and by that I mean the vibe, not to be so woo woo, but the balance,
the tone.
the tone, and the tension. And if parents aren't kind of looking within themselves to figure out what's going on, why am I, yes, it's work and all this stuff, but get past that to say, how can I work this through for myself or with a counselor or, with your spouse so that you can be with a coach. Yes, with a coach so that we can be emotionally available and attuned to our kids. And what I mean by that is, well, emotional availability is, I think we both know what that is. That's, knowing what's going on for your child. You're not going to know every thought and feeling they have. However, when you are emotionally in balance and working on yourself, whether that is through your spiritual work or your emotional work, then you are more attuned and hearing and listening for watching your child's behavior and things, because our kids' behavior most definitely is a reflection of what's going on the inside for them, just as ours is. So when we're working on ourselves, we are more attuned to what is going on with our children, and they need us, especially during the teenage years, to be emotionally available to them. They're definitely, during the teen years, I know you and I both have teens, and we agree that they're kind of in that me phase, where they're not looking, hey, mom, how are you really feeling? Once in a while, a kid might actually do that, but that's not generally their method during the teen years. So it is really up to us to have their, kind of know what's going on for them emotionally, so that we can have conversations with them if we need to, if we sense that there's something that they're going through that needs discussion.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And along with emotional availability, I would say our attention needs to be available.
Yes.
Because our kids are competing, especially for the last 12 years, they're competing for our attention, therefore our love, with a screen, right? We are so busy. Our studies show that we're talking less at home. We are touching less, like we're no hugs, kisses are less. And so we're not, and we're spending less time together, as in quality, eye to eye, heart to heart time. So I guess emotional availability also includes physical and being present availability, right? Because I had a psychologist tell me that when we have this in our hands, our kids are not going to come and talk about the deep bad stuff that happened today, because they know our attention will be taken away in 1 second. So
Right.
Mom, let's put this away, literally, physically, put it out of the room when your kid says, Mom, I need to talk.
Yeah. And when you say that they've been competing for our attention for literally the last 10, 12 years, that's really the truth. And I never thought about it that way until you said it recently. That really is the truth. We've gotten so distracted.
It hit my heart like a knife, I swear. I was like, my daughter is 11. I realized her whole life she has been competing with her screen since the day she was born. I was like, oh.
Okay, so this is a decision that as an adult with a fully functioning frontal lobe, we have to make the choice to put it down, to be available to our kids. We cannot expect our kids to do what we're not doing, right? So we have to go from just saying this is a problem, and we can look at Screenagers next chapter actually made several cases as to why we cannot just talk about this. We have to make decisions and do things differently. And it starts with us. We can't just, any parent with a teenager, myself included, knows that the second you just tell the kid to get off the phone, it becomes a power struggle. I think it's our job to re-engage them in life, to ask them to help us in the kitchen, to ask them to run errands with us, to engage them back into everyday things where they're going to have face-to-face contact with people. And that starts with putting down the phone, as you say.
Yes. And our kids call us on it, right? My son, they've had explosions, and because I said, get off of that. And they're like,
you're on it.
Drive me nuts. You're in front of you, or you're in front of the computer, you tell me to get up. What is that? I'm like, okay, you're right.
You know what I love about you, Madlin, what you do, you have done throughout kind of our working together is you'll text and say, I'm putting my phone away for the next several hours, so that I think it helps you and it helps the other adult, right? No, okay, well, Madlin put her phone away for the night, so she's not available. Right. I don't attempt to text you or whatever. You're letting us know these are your boundaries, and you've made the choice in that. I think if more adults did that, it would be fantastic.
Yeah, was it Dr. Phil that says we teach people how to treat us?
Yes. Yeah, yes, it is Dr. Phil.
Yeah. You know what? In that line, this is causing issues in that our expectation and our kids' expectation for their friends to answer immediately. The other day at the school where my husband's working, it literally was an emergency. It was a big to-do, and the police were being called because this girl didn't answer the phone. She wasn't answering the phone, and people were just like on high alert, trying to figure out where did she go. She was with this boy, blah blah blah, and everybody's freaking out. And her mom had taken her phone away because her mom had got mad at her because she had not come out on time to Caroline or something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I read this guy's book, Indestructible, and one of the things he says is that we need to inject ourselves with social antibodies. And what he meant by that is like, we can't imagine somebody going to your house right now and lighting up a cigarette. That is completely unacceptable, right? But that was acceptable many years ago. People had ashtrays, even if they didn't smoke. It was
socially, yes.
So he's saying, when we're with someone and they're on their phone, you can ask, is everything okay? You're on your phone. Is everything okay? Mm. And they'll be like, oh, let's put this away or go away to do their business. But also, I think in showing or telling people I'm going to be off for a certain amount of time, we're like teaching them how to relate, like, oh, we don't have to be on 24/7.
Yes. So, I love that you do that. I just wanted to point that out, that it's impressive that you let us know we're in the middle of a project that we're working on. And it's like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, and sometimes I don't. I remember to say that, and I'm off like the whole day, and people are like, "Where have you been?" I'm like, "Sorry." Yeah. I just always say, you know what? I'm living my life. If you don't respond to me, I know you're living your life, and I interrupted you. I didn't have the right to do that. So if you don't respond, it's my job to keep after you. Stalk you, whatever.
Right.
And then if you don't answer, you don't answer. So offense is another thing. I think people get offended.
Yes.
They take the bait of offense when it's not necessary. So tell me, what else can we do to take care of our emotional self?
So I'm so glad you asked. Yes. Yeah, I'm so glad you asked. So most parents are working outside of the home, and or they may be single parents, and we all have busy lives on our schedule, whether it's volunteer work or whatever. I don't know a mom around that is just sitting on her butt eating bonbons, right?
Right.
So we're all busy. I understand that. We all have the same amount of time in a day. So some of the things that I suggest to the clients that I work with are to get up 5 or 10 minutes earlier in the morning and to do some kind of meditation. I use the Calm app on my phone, and it's a very useful tool to be able to just start your day with the right intention, be quiet, get quiet. I would suggest sitting up in bed or someplace else, because if you just lay in bed and put the earphones in, you're going to fall right back asleep. Yeah. So is it what?
Calm? The name of the app again?
Calm, yes. Calm.
Oh,
Calm.
yes.
Yes,
Let's put a link in
Calm.
the comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's reasonable, and you can do 30-day trial on it. I mean, it's a very easy way to choose a whole bunch of different, whether it's guided, unguided. Anyway, I strongly suggest the people that I work with to do this and get in a practice of this. And meditation is not necessarily, a lot of people are afraid to meditate or stop meditating because they think, oh, I have to have this clear mind and it's not working and I've got all this stuff going on in my mind. So do we all, right? It's about noticing that and then just releasing it. I had this thought and then just releasing it. And over time, I can tell you, because I've done this for a long time, but I'm on day 564 in a row at this point, and I will tell you how much this has helped me stay calm with my 14 and 16-year-old. You know that I have 3 older ones that are out of the house at this point, but these 2 youngest, boy and girl, are definitely my priority, and staying grounded for them, especially my daughter who has, anxiety on and off. It is the most important thing I can do for her, is to be grounded and calm in the situation, especially when she's texting me from school and she's anxious and whatnot. So meditation is 5-10 minutes early, getting up, just a few minutes early to do that. Finding the time to
Wait, I want you to back up and repeat that. Mom, we need to hear this again.
Okay.
Back up where you say the best thing I can do for her. Say that again, because that is gold, Mama. Gold.
Okay, so my daughter has suffered from anxiety on and off since 3rd grade. She's in 9th grade. I have found over my own trials and challenges as the parent of someone with anxiety that my staying grounded and being emotionally clear in who I am and being available to her, but not feeding into her anxiety, because that's what I used to do. She'd get anxious and I'd be like, oh my God, she's anxious again. I don't know what to do. It would ramp up.
Right.
Me being calm and just calmly texting her back. And there's a rhythm that I do that in, which we don't have time at the moment, but I'm happy to talk about it at some point. But my being calm and grounded, truly being that way, because you can't BS that. I'm sorry, I don't mean to, but being calm is what helps her to calm down and get back into herself and be, go on with the rest of her day. So I'm not running to pick her up at school because she's in a panic attack.
Right,
so
right.
that is
also, even if our kids are not anxious, that's still true.
Yes.
That us being calm and emotionally available and grounded is going to make a difference in the tone, right, or vibe that we set in our home, and how we react to the everyday stressors, right?
Right, having the patience.
There's the oil of love in there, so the oil of love kind of helps with the friction. But if we have people living together, we're going to have friction all the time.
Right.
And so that's a big lesson for me, and I'm sure every mama that hears this. So what's next?
So the other thing I'm going to suggest is that you find some time to be physically active, whatever that looks like for you. And there are people who maybe get on a good regimen and they know they feel good, and then something derails them, something takes them off, whether it's their work life got too busy or something else is going on. I want to encourage moms so much to find the time to take a walk, to get outside, to whether it's walking with a friend, something, some way for you to reconnect back with the outside, the outdoors. I don't want to say listen to a podcast while you're walking, because that leads itself to tech a little bit. However, I'd rather have you walking outside and listening to a podcast that you're interested in than not getting some exercise, because the value of taking just a few minutes to get some exercise it's unbelievable. That has on you, that again, ripple effect to your children, right?
Yes,
Your spouse,
yes.
your children.
And again, that's another sermon for me, because my life has been up and down as far as staying, exercising and in shape. And for me, what I found out is I need to go meet a friend to walk, or I need to meet a friend at the gym, because by myself, consistency is not going to happen. The only times I've been consistent is if I've had a trainer or if I'm meeting friends, because I get to connect.
And you know that about you, so that's good. We have to know ourselves. We have to know what's going to motivate us.
And the other thing I suggest is that, yes, take that interesting podcast and go with that. But there's so important to have times of solitude. I was reading a book called Digital Minimalism, and the author is a computer scientist professor in California. And he said, you know what? We are so constantly bombarded with information, with input, that we are not taking the time for solitude. And solitude is not defined as being alone, or it could be, but being free from other people's thoughts.
Input, yes.
Therefore, I think what you're saying is like to keep our emotional, mental, spiritual health, to just go outside and just be with, look at the sky, look at the greenery, and experience nature and the air outside. It does something to our brain. It does something to kind of reset us and gives us perspective, right? Because we kind of get a little bit too, at least I do. I get into kind of a very small world, yes, if you would, and that helps me get outside of myself.
So the last thing I want to suggest is this. There are people like yourself and myself who help parents, who help families get through all that noise and all that junk. Just like we know our children are getting lots of messages, so are the adults, so are the parents in this world. And you're right about taking that solace time, that time to just not have that input coming in, but also to work with someone. Sometimes just getting the stuff out of your mouth, just getting it out of your head and out of your mouth can be so beneficial. And just talking with someone who is understanding, someone who is not going to judge you, someone who is able to ask you tough questions to get you to the next level of your own parenting journey, that is valuable as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Kim and I are both parent coaches, and what we do is we're not therapists. So a therapist helps you look back and go fix whatever's back there, or deal with your emotional stuff. We are helping you to know where are you and where do you want to go. And yes, right, some of the past will come into play, but we're not doing therapy. We are helping you, we're coaching you into going into the future that you desire. So yes, we'll put links in the comment to Real Life Parent Guide, which is Kim's organization, and you can message me here on Unplug Family also if you want to do coaching. So thanks, Kim, for being here. You have become a dear friend and colleague. I've learned so much from you. I admire you incredibly, and I hope that we get to talk to you again.
Okay, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.